Sync! Cool. League of Legends has seen a lot of very interesting changes in its borderline historic lifespan. I mean, if you told me 9 years ago that this was gonna turn into this, and that this was gonna turn into this, and that this was gonna turn into this, I would have told you that you're crazy. I don't think that one's real. But obviously, the changes League of Legends has gone through is a lot more than just visual. Whether we like it or not, today's League of Legends is different than last week, and the year before that is even further off. What used to be a pretty straightforward game filled with stat changes, empowered autos, and CC abilities has quickly turned into playing checkers in a war zone in space. In a bigger set of checkers. That makes sense. Is that a good thing? I'd argue yes, because though all the new champions are so complicated they come with a f***ing Nintendo Power article explaining how to play them, they do a great job in changing the way that we play the game, which in turn leads to more fun. But, unfortunately, not every mechanic Riot implements is good. Hell, I'll even go out on a limb here and say that a lot of them aren't even fun. Like how Set beats your ass for trying to beat his ass, or how ADC Samira has a built-in wind wall, or even how Yumi... But though a lot of these are pretty annoying, they always came with a price. Sure, these quirks gave new champions a way to be overpowered, but in a lot of these cases, basing a champion around a singular game-breaking ability or passive was very limiting to their playstyles. Thankfully though, Riot has grown up and learned that they need to stop doing this. Gone are the days of giving champions one broken passive and limiting their playstyles. We need to move forward. We need to be open-minded. We need to not give champions just one way to break the game, but 57 of them. Akshan is the most what the f character I have ever seen in League of Legends. And normally when I say that, it's because they're too strong in one way or another. But Akshan just makes no sense.
What the hell is even that?
He is an insane hyper-mobile duelist with a 3-hit passive, a 2-hit passive, a shield passive, a speed-up passive, a revive passive, a gold gain passive, and we're not even at his abilities yet. I think I got all of those. Akshan is, for lack of a better term, a randomly generated set of ideas and abilities mashed together in one sexy Bollywood all-star. He also kind of stands as an oxymoron, because though he is very complicated in theory, he is very oversimplified in practice. His gameplay is basically shoot them until they die, and also 500 random things are passively happening while you do. Akshan's passives are all very useful. If Akshan auto-attacks and stands still, he autos twice with the second attack dealing reduced damage. It also applies on-hit at 100% effectiveness, which I love because it gives me a reason to bring Wit's End back from the grave. If Akshan decides to move after auto-attacking instead of standing still, he shoots once instead, but gains a burst of move speed for 1 second that scales off of his level and attack speed, which is actually a pretty fun mechanic. If you think you could stand still long enough to be a turret and get that second shot off, that's good. However, if you need to kite, autoing and moving gives you enough move speed to do so effectively. Why does Akshan get both? Because f it, man, it's his birthday. You're not gonna give a guy 15 passives on his birthday. All of Akshan's basic attacks and abilities apply a stack to affected enemies for 5 seconds. Every third stack on an enemy is consumed and deals bonus magic damage. If the target is a champion, Akshan gains a shield that scales off of his AD for the next 2 seconds. This shield also has an insanely low cooldown, so it is up all the time. But let's be honest, Akshan kinda looks like he comes from a rich family, so trading is in his blood.
No, not this time.
And, yeah, that's it. That's it. We're done with this passive. Here, I'll even give you a save point right now so that we don't lose our progress before moving on. And while we're at this save point, did you know that the majority of the people watching this video aren't subscribed to the channel? If you subscribe, you'll really help us out. I was supposed to do something big for 300K and I'm working on it, but you guys are subscribing so goddamn fast that we're already at like 320, so it's nuts. Everyone who's new here, thank you for joining the family. I've been having a lot of fun making this content, and I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying it just the same. Be sure to ring the little bell thingy as well, so that you don't miss any of our bangers, and let's keep going. And as Akshan's Q is a boomerang skill shot he throws in a target direction. If the boomerang hits an enemy, its range is extended. Period. There is no cap on this. It can extend indefinitely, giving him a very cool and fresh way to harass in lane when he's behind minions. With enough minions lined up, this shit could probably kill somebody in an Apex game. This ability deals a decent amount of physical damage and also stacks his passive, making it a burst on a burst. And for some godforsaken reason, this boomerang also reveals the enemy's hit while also briefly granting sight of the area around its path. Oh, and it also grants him a burst of move speed if he hits an enemy champion. And don't forget that his passive also grants him a burst of move speed if he cancels an auto attack. And if you build a Bork, hitting someone 3 times also gives a burst of move speed, giving him a burst on a burst on a burst on a burst. I think that's enough bursts, but maybe not. It's Akshan. It may all sound very complicated, but again, that's just on paper. Here's what it looks like in game. Did you catch all of that? Cool, because nobody else did either. Akshan's W sounds like a child made it up while playing superhero on the playground to be the strongest superhero. Passively, when an enemy champion kills an ally champion, they become a scoundrel for the next 60 seconds. If Akshan manages to score a takedown on the scoundrel while alive, Akshan receives an additional 100 gold and removes marks from all other enemy scoundrels. Additionally, all dead allies that were slain by the scoundrel are revived at their fountain after 1 second. Simply put, if you kill somebody and Akshan kills you, Akshan gets 100 bonus gold and the person that you killed comes back to life. To simplify this via an analogy, it is exactly like the phrase an eye for an eye. Except since Akshan will almost always make more gold than you on a revenge kill, it's an eye for 2 eyes. And that's just this ability's passive. When activated, Akshan gains camouflage, which can last forever as long as he's near terrain or brushes. I repeat, Akshan has Evelyn's entire personality in one move, but it gets better. If a scoundrel enemy exists on the map, Akshan gains a ton of bonus move speed when moving towards the scoundrel, while also regenerating a lot of his missing mana. And the best part is that if there is an enemy scoundrel alive, Akshan can see their scent and track them for an entire minute. Meaning even if you're hiding, even if you're stealthed, even if Akshan has no vision, it doesn't matter. He knows where you are.
And I'm coming.
This move is actually the best parts of both Warwick and Evelyn as his W, while passively it grants up to 4 revives. It sounds like I'm making this up as I go, but hey, at least it has a massive cooldown, right? Let me see. Oh. Akshan's E is the coolest ability in all of League of Legends. Akshan fires a grappling hook in a target direction, latching onto the terrain it hits. When recast, or when right-clicking for some reason, Akshan rotates in a target direction, spraying the shit out of the nearest visible enemy, dealing physical damage and on-hit effects at 25% effectiveness per shot.
Action is coming.
When cast a 3rd time, or when clicking again, Akshan jumps off of the grappling hook and fires one last shot at a nearby enemy. The shots can critically strike for 90% crit damage and apply lifesteal because why the hell not? Akshan also prioritizes enemies already marked by his passive, making it easier to choose a poor soul to absolutely blast down. When getting a kill, this ability resets, giving him the ability to be Spider-Man with a goddamn Tech 9. When this ability works, it is probably my favorite ability in the entire game. It's so satisfying landing a hook at the exact perfect angle and just absolutely ruining someone's day. However, this ability is actually very hard to use correctly. You need more than a galaxy brain to properly measure angles in between fights. And even if you're like me, the only man on Earth with universe brain, It's still pretty buggy because literally anything stops you in your tracks. Hell, if Akshan is feeling particularly insecure that day, he'll cancel the grappling hook animation just because. But whenever you do use this ability correctly, you'll very quickly realize that the other 9 people in your game should just stop trying because you're the main character. Akshan's ultimate comeuppance is a gigantic ranged lock-on ability. Akshan chooses some poor soul from as far as the town over to lock his gun on, charging for up to 2.5 seconds, gradually storing bullets as he charges. When the channel is over, or when Akshan recasts it preemptively, he unloads the clip, shooting at his target up to 7 times, dealing physical damage. Sounds simple enough, right? But don't be silly. This is Akshan we're talking about after all, the character that is so extra, he should be in a spearmint commercial. Each shot that Akshan fires can critically strike at 50% effectiveness. Crit chance also just increases the raw damage from each shot because of course it does. The lower the enemy is, the more damage that this ability deals, increasing the damage by up to 300%, making this ultimate an insane execute to whoever was dumb enough to step outside that day. It can also stack 2 entire rotations of Akshan's 3-hit passive, and of course it lifesteals at 80% effectiveness as well. And the coolest thing about this ability is that for some reason it has an updating execute marker over an enemy's health bar. Thankfully, Akshan's bullets are stopped by minions, other champions, and turrets for some godforsaken reason, so there is a shot to survive this death mark if someone on your team is nice enough to dive in the way. On top of that, since this ability doesn't deal a lot of damage unless it's an execute range, a full health meat shield can tank this entire ability without even feeling it, making this move kind of okay. At least he can use his E while charging it, because again, this is his movie. But overall, the move is Akshan seems to be more of an experiment than he is a full champion. His abilities don't make sense. Some of them hardly synergize with one another, and without reading his 560 passives, Akshan is relatively unremarkable. But holy shit, did they not give him every single passive that they could think of. They really looked at Akshan and went, F it, give him steroids. Akshan is a very weird, albeit very fun character to play. Just remember that whenever there is an Akshan in your game, you are going to be relegated to being a side character while he steals the show. In short, whenever you see this handsome ball of abilities and passives locked in, just know there will be lights, there will be cameras, and most importantly, there will be Akshan. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of Can We Talk About This? I don't know if you could tell, but I am sick as shit right now. There has been a lot going on this week, and I caught something super bad. I don't think it's anything mega bad, but I have just kind of been bedridden, and it kind of blows. But thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it, and again, I did want to do something for 300,000, but I'm a very slow worker, so now we're at 320K, and it's just blowing my mind, because by the time we get this video done, we're probably going to be at fucking 400K or however fast you guys are going. But honestly, the support, it means a lot. Thank you guys a lot. I love you to death. And I think next week's episode is not going to be League of Legends. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be fun. I might even say it's going to be a little crafty. And the video will be mine. It's going to be Minecraft.